The Maasai Mara, without a doubt, one of the most remarkable places on earth. Home to endless grasslands and African creatures, both great and small. Home to the greatest migration on the planet and breathtaking landscapes. It is truly a photographer's paradise. Every day, thousands of pictures are taken, moments frozen in time, memories hanging up on walls, and scenes published in beautiful books and magazines. But there is another aspect, something seldom noticed, that happens behind the scenes. Men and women who dedicate their lives to protecting this fragile ecosystem and maintaining its delicate balance. Teams of selfless individuals who are willing to risk everything to conserve the Maasai Mara at all costs. The Mara Elephant Project, with focus on Africa's largest land mammal, they study land use change and human population growth and tackle deforestation and poaching, providing a safety net across the landscape and a literal eye in the sky. Sheldrick Wildlife Trust. Rapid response veterinary squads come to the rescue, treating all manner of wildlife emergencies, from snares and spears to arrows and gunshots. Mara Conservancy, the driving force behind the success of the Mara Triangle, a team of men and women who tirelessly fix roads, build bridges, protect wildlife, and relentlessly combat poaching. The Mara Trust, spreading the benefits of wilderness protection to local women and children by creating sustainable livelihoods, furthering education, and improving access to necessities such as clean water. Ann Kent Taylor Fund, protecting wildlife and working with communities by maintaining the delicate balance between social development and conservation. Angama Foundation, doing well by doing good by doing well, supporting communities by investing in healthcare and education, and conserving wildlife. Now, more than ever, these organizations need our help and our support. This is an opportunity for photographers to unite and become ambassadors for the landscape that they so much love. To use the trade to give back to the animals and to the people who call the Mara home. Through the powerful medium of photography, we can and we will help our silent heroes.
Serenity is the name I gave to this picture because it was exactly what I was feeling when I was shooting. The elephants were just grazing the plain, the cheetahs were almost sleeping on the termite mound, so everything was quiet, and sometimes action is not the most important things you can look for in a safari. Sometimes peace of mind is much more important than that.
The picture was taken whilst a big lion pride was very busy eating a buffalo they had taken down. I had the chance to observe this beautiful scene of this father lion hugging one of his many little boys. It lasted a fraction of a second and I was very lucky to capture this scene. This moment is very unique as normally it is the other way around. It is the son who would search for a hug towards his father.
Just a few minutes before sunrise and the mist started to glow and I caught sight of the silhouette of these topi. It looked like they were trying to hide in this thin layer of mist. waiting for daybreak.
A photograph is just an interpretation of what a photographer sees or wants to see through his camera. It is not a factual rendition of reality. I have been experimenting and working on a project to photograph wild animals using homemade lenses designed to produce an artistic vision. The result can be seen in this giraffe picture. The lens produces streaks on the lower half of the frame, leaving the other half sharp and clear.
It was an awful day in the Mara, weather-wise, with heavy rain and very strong winds. We were driving back to camp with all the canvas sides of the vehicle down, and we really couldn't see much out of the windows at all. Suddenly, my friend and professional photographer, Arnfinn Johansson, asked our guide, Big John from Altepesi camp, to stop the car. And Arnfinn opened up a gap in the canvas, and he pointed to the Impala and said to me, "Ivan, this is a beautiful scene. Quick, take a picture, and do not mess it up."
We were actually watching a lioness that was hunting. She was unsuccessful trying to catch a wildebeest, and she actually left the area. And we thought the male was going to follow her as well. However, the young hippo just kind of kept wandering closer and closer towards him, and then the rest was history. And I was actually filming the takedown because it seemed as though the chase was going to happen away from us, but the hippo turned its back and actually ran sort of towards us. So immediately once the male got the hippo down on the ground, I switched back to photos, and that was how I got my image.
To give you a bit of background, this happened at the Peninsula Crossing Point, a crossing point that we've been fortunate enough to see many fantastic crossings happen throughout the season this year. And like most other times, we had a massive build-up of wildebeest coming from the National Reserve side, and after some time of waiting, they managed to cross the river, only to be met by a pride of lions on the other side of the river, and this particular male and two other females, all of which had made a kill themselves. The females made one each, and of course this male, as you see in the picture here, managed to capture a wildebeest for himself. In the process, slipping down the slippery rocks and falling quite a distance down to the banks of the Mara River, eventually falling in the river, where he managed to catch this wildebeest, killed it, and then dragged it out of the river to enjoy his spoils.
Migration time. Chaos during the crossing. A wildebeest just running fast as possible to save his life from a lion chasing. Then a small mistake. He fell down in the sand and the lion was on it. Few seconds and the tragedy was in front of me. Everybody is always asking me, looking at this picture, what happened after that? He survived. He died. I will never tell you.
I love photographing elephants, and we came across this herd of about 7, and we sat with them for about an hour and a half, just watching and observing and waiting for them to move around, just trying to get some different shots and different opportunities. And when I saw those two line up like that, I knew I had a once in a lifetime shot, and so excited I was able to capture that, just to create that look of 2 elephants that look like one.
Yeah, when we arrived at the riverside, we didn't know yet that the killed zebra was pregnant because most of her body was in the water. Then after about 20 minutes, this huge crocodile entered the scene and started tearing up the body. There was a loud gasp from all the cars when everyone suddenly realized that she'd been carrying an unborn calf. Now I'd switched to viewing everything through my viewfinder, just taking a shot about once every second, and it hadn't really sunk in yet what was going on. And it was all over in just a few seconds, so it left me quite shocked, to be honest. I really felt like I'd just witnessed one of the last remaining dinosaurs.
to start tearing up. Kind of overwhelmed at the moment. So the trip in general was kind of a dream come true for me. It was my first time to Africa, and I had a very good friend that had really helped me out a lot to get me over there, and it was something I really couldn't afford myself at the time. And so for one, just to have been there is one thing, but then for all this to happen, like I said, I'm kind of really overwhelmed. Yeah, I don't even know what to say right now. So I'm a professional wildlife photographer and videographer. I have kind of several folds to my business where I run workshops and tours, and I'm also a brand ambassador for a few camera companies. However, I had never been to Africa before, so this was definitely my first time. To get something like that on your first time, I feel like I should go play the lottery, after that. But so years ago, I had started getting into wildlife photography a little bit and started entering some contests, and I was one of the finalists in the Nat Geo Nature Photographer of the Year, and that kind of catapulted my business because people started coming to my website and signing up for my tours and that kind of thing. So it really propelled from there, and I've been doing it ever since for about 6 or 7 years now, full time. But again, it was like Africa. It's hard to be a professional wildlife photographer and not be in Africa. So I'm hoping this is the start of many years there. Yeah, it was kind of all this surrealness, to me. Again, it was like, I can't believe I just saw. In fact, I couldn't decide at the moment whether I should be filming or taking photos. And what actually happened was it looked like I don't know if you saw the video, it kind of looked like the kill was going to happen away from us. And the guy that was with us turned and said, if you're not filming, you may want to film this. So that was where I decided, okay, I'm going to take the video. But then all of a sudden the hippo kind of turned and started coming back towards us. And then I almost regretted it for a second because that whole scene where the lion kind of jumped on his back and all that stuff, I really wanted that photo, but I thought that part made a better video at least. And then at this moment, when the lion was on top of him, the hippo kind of put its feet up in the air and, pinned them down. And I was just like, oh my God, and it's kind of one of those moments where you're just taking thousands of photos. And I really just hope this is all coming out the way that I'm seeing it. And, then when you get it back and you look at it on the computer, it's just like, oh my God, I really can't believe I just got that. And to have our guide who said, he's been guiding for 30 years and he's never seen that, I knew it was going to be something special.